Many congratulations to you. Thank you all.
कंज्यूमर चेयर नेशनल लॉ यूनिवर्सिटी दिल्ली ने भारत सरकार के उपभोक्ता मामले विभाग के संरक्षण में कंज्यूमर लॉ पर नेशनल लॉ कॉम्पिटिशन के 6ठे एडिशन का आयोजन किया। इस प्रतियोगिता का उद्देश्य विभिन्न विषयों के तहत अंडर ग्रेजुएट स्टूडेंट्स को उपभोक्ता कानून के ज्ञान को विस्तारित, अन्वेषण और विकसित करने के लिए एक मंच प्रदान करना था। More than 440 students from 150 plus educational institutes across India registered for the quiz. 100 plus participants competed in the written round to qualify for the top 8 positions proceeding to the final round. Today, on this occasion of National Consumers Day, we take this opportunity to felicitate 3 winning candidates of this competition. हम प्रतियोगिता के विजेता आदित्य कश्यप सिम्बायोसिस लॉ स्कूल पुणे से कृपया मंच पर आने का अनुरोध करते हैं। We welcome you, Aditya, on stage. Our second winning candidate is Harsh Rudra, Vivekanand Institute of Professional Studies, New Delhi. We request Harsh to please come on stage. Please give these candidates a big round of applause. मैं हमारी तीसरी विजेता फाल्गुनी खंडेलवाल NMIMS किरित पी मेहता लॉ स्कूल मुंबई से अनुरोध करूंगी कि कृपया मंच पर आएं। जोरदार स्वागत कीजिए फाल्गुनी का। हमारे विनर्स का उत्साह बढ़ाइए और तालियां बजाते रहिए।
चेयर ऑन कंज्यूमर लॉ एंड प्रैक्टिस, नेशनल लॉ स्कूल ऑफ इंडिया, यूनिवर्सिटी बेंगलुरु ने उपभोक्ता कानून और नीति पर एक निबंध लेखन प्रतियोगिता का आयोजन किया, जिसमें विभिन्न संस्थानों के छात्रों और अनुसंधान विद्वानों से 60 प्रविष्टियां प्राप्त हुई। 60 प्रविष्टियों में से 3 प्रविष्टियों को विजेता के रूप में चुना गया है। अब हम निबंध प्रतियोगिता के विजेताओं को माननीय राज्य मंत्री श्री BL वर्मा जी से प्रशंसा प्रमाण पत्र प्राप्त करने के लिए मंच पर बुलाएंगे। The winner of the competition is Olivia Ruhil, student at School of Public Policy, Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. Olivia, I request you to kindly come on stage. The title of her essay is Sustainability and Consumer Protection, Pioneering the Path to Responsible Consumerism. With the same spirit of sustainability, we are here today celebrating National Consumer Day 2024. Congratulations. Next, I would like to call on stage the runner-up of this competition, Kavya Shukla and Aditya. Rajiv Gandhi, National University of Law, Punjab. Please come on stage. Many, many congratulations for your achievement. The title of his essay is Digital Health and Consumer Trust, Strengthening Consumer Safety in Digital Landscape. Many, many congratulations on your success. Finally, I would like to call on stage the second runner-up, Shreyasi Swarupa Burman, student, Christ University. The title of her essay is Pricing Algorithms, the Line Between Innovation and Consumer Welfare. Many congratulations.
एक बार फिर से जोरदार तालियां हो जाएं। The Chair on Consumer Law, National Law University, Delhi, under the aegis of Department of Consumer Affairs, organized one-day capacity building program for executives of NCH. The program was aimed at skilling and sensitizing the NCH executives towards handling of consumer grievances. I request Honorable Minister of State, Shri B.L. Verma ji, to take a moment to congratulate our winners once again. सबसे पहले मैं मंच पर तान्या मोहांती, काउंसलर NCH को आमंत्रित करना चाहूंगी। मैं तान्या मोहांती जी से रिक्वेस्ट करती हूं कि वे कृपया मंच पर आएं। जोरदार तालियों से इनका स्वागत कीजिए। इसके बाद मैं आर्यन जायसवाल, काउंसलर NCH को कृपया मंच पर आने के लिए आमंत्रित करती हूं। We welcome Aryan Jaiswal on stage. जैसा कि मैंने पहले भी कहा था कि किसी भी इवेंट की आन बान और शान उसकी ऑडियंस होती है, तो कृपया इस प्रोग्राम में जान बनाए रखिए और तालियां बजाते रहिए। इसी आशा के साथ आज के इस उद्घाटन सत्र के समापन से पूर्व धन्यवाद ज्ञापन के लिए मैं आमंत्रित कर रही हूं संयुक्त सचिव आदरणीय श्री अनुपम मिश्रा जी का। जोरदार तालियां हो जाएं।
A very good afternoon to all of you, and I will be really very brief. So first, I thank Honorable Minister of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, New and Renewable Energy for sparing time to be with us today. We saw various launches today, various initiatives being taken today. All this would not have been possible but for the support, motivation, guidance of the Honorable Minister. We are sure that the roadmap that has been laid today by the Honorable Minister would be implemented in a definite time-bound manner. Thanks a lot. हम धन्यवाद करते हैं अपने मंत्री कंज्यूमर अफेयर्स, फूड एंड पब्लिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, सोशल जस्टिस एंड एम्पावरमेंट B.L. वर्मा जी। सर, आपका भाषण बड़ा ही ओजस्वी और अच्छा था, और आज आपने जो कहा वो हमारे आने वाले वर्षों में प्रेरणा का स्रोत रहेगा। आपको धन्यवाद सर। आप इस डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ कंज्यूमर अफेयर्स में कंज्यूमर अफेयर्स से जुड़े हुए इश्यूज़ में बहुत ही इंटरेस्ट लेते हैं, बड़ा हमें आपसे मोटिवेशन और गाइडेंस मिलता है। थैंक्स अ लॉट। मैं अपनी मैडम सेक्रेटरी निधि खरे जी को भी धन्यवाद देता हूँ। ये कार्यक्रम इस बड़े स्तर पर, हम ये पहले कार्यक्रम ऊपर छोटा सा एक हॉल था जहाँ 250-300 की कैपेसिटी होती थी, हम वहाँ करते थे। मैडम का आइडिया था कि थोड़ा इसको बड़े स्तर पर किया जाए, सभी लोगों को बुलाया जाए, तो आज हमने प्लेनरी हॉल में किया। मैडम शुरू से ही जब से हमने डिसाइड किया कि यहाँ करना है ना, हर एक चीज़ों में इंटरेस्ट गाइड कर रही हैं कैसे करना है। वी आर रियली ब्लेस्ड टू यू हैव ए सेक्रेटरी। थैंक्स अ लॉट मैडम। साथ ही हम धन्यवाद करते हैं तिवारी जी, DG BIS, चेयरमैन AICTC लोहाटी साहब, चेयरमैन चेयरमैन ट्राई, कि आप हमारे साथ यहाँ आज हैं और हमारे साथ आपने समय दिया। सबसे बड़ा जो हमारा ऊर्जा का स्रोत है और जो हम ये कार्यक्रम करते हैं वो हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं। आप लोग इतने अच्छी संख्या में, इतना इंटरेस्ट से आते हैं, दूर दूर से आते हैं सर। अरुणाचल प्रदेश, नागालैंड, जम्मू कश्मीर, साउथ, सभी जगहों से आज हमारे बीच हैं, चाहे वो VCOs हों, चाहे वो डिस्ट्रिक्ट कमीशन से प्रेसिडेंट हैं, स्टेट कमीशन के प्रेसिडेंट मेंबर्स हैं, इंडस्ट्री एसोसिएशन से। आप इतना अच्छा पार्टिसिपेशन, हमें ऊर्जा मिलती है, और जो डिस्कशंस होते हैं वो आने वाले समय में एक रोड मैप है, वो हमको एजेंडा देता है हमें आगे क्या करना है। तो आप सबको इस बड़ी संख्या में इतने इंटरेस्ट से आने के लिए धन्यवाद। हम आज के जो विनर्स हैं, चाहे वो क्विज कंपटीशन हो, टोमेटो ग्रैंड चैलेंज हो, ये आपका एसे कंपटीशन है, मूड पोर्ट, उन सब बच्चों को भी बधाइयाँ देते हैं, उनके पेरेंट्स को भी बधाइयाँ देते हैं। होप करते हैं जीवन में आप ऐसे ही नए नए माइलस्टोन्स अचीव करते रहेंगे। मीडिया भी बहुत बड़ी संख्या में है, उनको भी धन्यवाद कि हमारे जो मैसेजेज हैं कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन के, वो समय समय पर इसे जनता तक पहुंचाते हैं, और मीडिया का बहुत बड़ा रोल है। तो बड़ी संख्या में यहाँ पर उपस्थित होने के लिए आपको धन्यवाद। और हम सबसे अंत में धन्यवाद देंगे हमारी टीम का, जो इस पूरे कार्यक्रम में हमारे साथ लगी रही। सुनील मिश्रा जी हैं हमारे डिप्टी सेक्रेटरी, जो शुरू से इसमें लगे थे प्रोग्राम अच्छे से हो जाए। शालिनी हमारी डायरेक्टर है, जो NCS भी देखती हैं सर, उन्होंने भी बहुत मेहनत की। फिर नटराजन जी जो पूरा यहाँ का IT ये सब देख रहे हैं, आशुतोष अग्रवाल और उनके साथ नायक जी, और पूरी जो टीम थी उन सब का, भरत खेरा जी एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी, इनका भी हमें समय समय पर गाइडेंस और मोटिवेशन मिलकर। आप सबको धन्यवाद। अब आप सब लंच के लिए आमंत्रित हैं। ये लंच नीचे बफे है, 6 जगहों पर ये बफे ऑर्गेनाइज किया है, ऊपर फर्स्ट फ्लोर पर भी है, वहाँ आप आ सकते हैं एंड आप लंच में ज्वाइन कीजिए। धन्यवाद, नमस्कार, थैंक यू।
जैसा कि सर ने कहा, आप सभी लंच के लिए आमंत्रित हैं। लंच की व्यवस्था ग्राउंड फ्लोर और फर्स्ट फ्लोर दोनों जगह की गई है। लंच के बाद अगला सत्र 2:15 बजे से आरंभ होगा। आपसे विनम्र निवेदन है, लंच करने के बाद अगले सत्र को समय पर ज्वाइन करें। धन्यवाद। Vice Chancellor, National University of Study and Research in Law, Ranchi. मेरा इन सभी से अनुरोध है कि कृपया मंच पर आ जाएं और अपनी अपनी सीट्स। देवियों और सज्जनों, मेरा आप सभी से विनम्र अनुरोध है, कृपया अपनी अपनी सीट्स पर बैठ जाएं। हमारा अगला सत्र टेक्निकल सेशन शुरू होने वाला है। आई ऑल्सो रिक्वेस्ट टू कम ऑन डायस श्रीमती पुष्पा गिरिमा जी, सीनियर जर्नलिस्ट एंड कंज्यूमर एक्टिविस्ट हरियाणा, डॉक्टर कौस्तुभा उपाध्याय, एडवाइजर मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आयुष, श्री सुरेंद्र शर्मा, रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ईभा। आप सभी से अनुरोध है, कृपया स्टेज पर आकर अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें।
We can see the excitement of participants clicking the photographs. We humbly request you to kindly take the photographs after the technical session and kindly take your seats.
सही प्रेजेंटेशन है कौन सी है?
इसमें साउंड नहीं है। A very good afternoon to everyone. May I request that please be seated so that we can start the next session. Please, yes. Otherwise we'll get late. तो आप लोग कृपया करके बैठ जाएं जिससे कि हम अगला सेशन शुरुआत कर सकें। तो जो हमारा अगला सेशन है, इसका जो टॉपिक है बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है, हेल्थ वासन एंड हाउ डज इट इम्पैक्ट द कंज्यूमर्स। पीछे से आप लोग कृपया करके बैठ जाएं जरा एक बार, सो दैट वी कैन स्टार्ट द पैनल। लास्ट प्लीज बैठ जाएं एक बार, सो वी स्टार्ट द पैनल डिस्कशंस। नहीं तो बहुत लेट हो जाएगा, 2 पैनल और है, पहले से ही हमारा विलंब से चल रहा है। प्लीज़ कृपया करके बैठ जाइए। यस, तो बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है हेल्थ वासन एंड हाउ डज इट इम्पैक्ट द कंज्यूमर्स। एंड वी हैव वेरी इमिनेंट पैनलिस्ट ओवर हियर। वी हैव जस्टिस राजशेखर अत्री जी, प्रेसिडेंट स्टेट कमीशन चंडीगढ़ से। वी हैव डॉक्टर कविता रामास्वामी from FSSI. We have Dr. Ashok R. Patil, Vice Chancellor, National University of Study and Research in Law, Ranchi. We have Madam Pushpa Girma ji, Senior Journalist and Consumer Activist. I think आप सब इनके columns newspapers में और सब जगह पढ़ते ही रहते होंगे, तो she needs no introduction. We have Mr. Raghu, Deputy DGHS from Ministry of AYUSH. Then we have Surinder Sharma, who will be representing the industry wise from IBHA. तो ब्रीफ में हेल्थ वासन क्या है, कृपया करके आप पीछे से ही बैठ जाएं। यस यस यस, कृपया करके, सो दैट वी कैन स्टार्ट द डिस्कशन। हेल्थ वासन ये है कि जब कोई प्रोडक्ट कोई क्लेम करता है हेल्थ के बारे में और वो क्लेम गलत होता है, सही नहीं होता है, और आपकी जो भावनाएं हैं कि हम हेल्दी हों, अच्छा खाना खाएं, ऑर्गेनिक फूड लें, ये सब चीज़ें सेहत के लिए अच्छी होती हैं, तो इस जो हमारे मन के विचार हैं उनका वो गलत उपयोग करके भी अपने प्रोडक्ट्स को हेल्दी करके ब्रांड करने का प्रयास करता है। जैसे ग्रीन वासन होती है वैसे ही हेल्थ वासन है। सो हम लोग ग्रीन वासन में गाइडलाइन लेकर आए हैं, विच वी हैव पुट इन द पब्लिक डोमेन, दो गाइडलाइंस आर देयर। सो दिस इज़ अनदर इम्पॉर्टेंट एजेंडा जिसमें CCPA अभी काम कर रहा है। वी होप कि आज के जो deliberations हैं they will provide us with useful inputs. तो सर सबसे पहले मैं आपसे अनुरोध करता हूँ अत्री साहब जी, if you can just share your views so that we can take the discussion forward. सर मैं आपको invite करता हूँ. जी सर. Yeah.
Good afternoon, dignitaries on the dais and the off the dais. Today we will discuss about health washing, which affects all of us. This term might not be so familiar, but it is something we encounter every day, especially the food we eat, the products we buy, and the advertisement we see. These are also unfair trade practices under Section 2, subsection 47 of the Consumer Protection Act. This says, making any statement, whether orally or in writing, or by visible repetition, including by means of electric record, which falsely represent that the goods are of particular standard, quality, equality, grade, composition, style, or model. Apart from it, this also fall under the misleading advertisement under the Consumer Act. The foremost question arises, why we Indians fell prey to these tactics? We know that Indian consumers are highly vulnerable to the misleading advertisements, alluring labels, buzzwords printed on the products relating to the human health. When we were young, we all have heard Nirma washing powder. Though it was allergic to skin, but the manufacturer was so high that he surpassed the leading washing powders of that time. The headlines for selling medicine at just ₹20, claiming that he could grow natural hair on the bald heads. गंजापन खत्म करने के लिए 20 रुपए की दवाई. He is still in the news. Thousands thronged to his place, causing traffic, chaos, and law and order situation. He minted crores of rupees, but it is now facing criminal charges. Unfortunately, innocent consumers have neither been refunded nor compensated for the harm caused as the medicine triggered allergies and infections. I quote one more example. In the COVID-19, there were loan scams. Pseudo-financiers advertise personal loans as social media, claiming no documentation was needed. They collected registration fee of 100 to 200 from thousands and thousands innocent persons across the country, but failed to provide any loan. In health sector, the positioning of people, especially youngsters, are more cautious regarding their health and weight. I define health washing as a marketing tactics used by the companies to promote their products as healthy or beneficial for the consumers, even they are not so. Mainly, there are 6 types of health washing prevalent at present. Number 1, misleading labels, using labels of certification that imply a product is healthier than actually is. Even you purchase revdi, a groundnut, any other small products, even name of the producer or manufacturer not mentioned therein. It is mentioned protein and such, but nothing there. Exaggerated claims, also one of the same, another typing, making unsubstantiated or exaggerated claims about the product health benefits, and hidden ingredients, failing to disclose unhealthy ingredients or additive in a product. Greenwashing is also affecting the health washing, making environmental claims that they are misleading or unsubstantiable. Health washing can result in us choosing products that seem healthy or some surface, but don't actually contribute to our well-being. This makes it harder to make informed choices. When brands present themselves as healthy, alternative consumers may be lured into buying processed foods and have little nutrition value, or worse foods. They are actively determined to long-term health. Things like added sugar, trans fat, and preservatives that don't always show in bold letters in the front of the package. Over time, consumers may start to lose trust in health claims together when we realize that we have been misplaced, exaggerated health claims for false promises. We can become cynical and skeptical about everything we see in the market. This erodes trust in brands, in industries, and even the very idea of choosing healthy products. This mistrust can lead to apathy, where we stop paying attention to the health claims together, thus missing out on products. So for a few examples, in this era, sugar-laden cereals marketed as healthy. Some cereals high in sugar are marketed as healthy due to the presence of some whole grain or fiber. Fruit-flavored drinks with little actual fruit. Some fruit drinks, such as you say mango fruity, etc., contain little or no actual fruit, but are marketed by healthy due to their fruit flavor. Some processed meats, such as hot dogs, sausages, are marketable natural or organic despite containing preservatives and other healthy ingredients. We have ample remedies. We should adapt to them. Firstly, we should read the labels carefully, and this remedy is always missing. We should check the ingredient list and nutrition facts and ensure the product meets your dietary needs. Be skeptical of health claims. If the product seems to be good or to be true, it may be so look scientific evidence to support health claims. Choose whole food, which unprocessed foods are generally healthier than the processed food or packaged food. We must check certification. Look certification from reputable organizations such as NPOP, this is Indian, PGS India, and a USDA organic either of the US states. But I must add some gray areas in the health products where we need more study. The naturopathy and Ayurvedic. While naturopathy and Ayurveda offer promising alternatives, they often lack standardized practices. For instance, a friend of mine who was diabetic for the last 15 years shifted to naturopathy. He consumes raw fruits and vegetables for breakfast and regular meals at lunch and dinner. Over 5 years, he is maintaining sugar at the normal level without medication. However, there is no prescribed standards for such treatment. By concluding the subject, I must say that we, the consumers, might be vigilant, read carefully the printed labels on the products, and also scientifically verify the same. If needed, those be sent to testing laboratories. The consumers' complaints against such products may be filed for the safety of citizens in the consumer fora. The bottom line is, the health is about more than what is on the label. It is about what is inside the product, what is inside our bodies, and what is inside our mind. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Now may I request Sri Ashok Patil, Vice Chancellor, National University of Study and Research, Law.
Thank you very much, sir. At the outset, my sincere thanks to Minister of Consumer Affairs, Government of India, for giving me this opportunity to share my experience before you all. Respected Joint Secretary, Sri Anupam Mishra ji, speakers, dignitaries on and off the dais, and ladies and gentlemen. I'm associated with the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Government of India since 2008, actively involved in drafting of Consumer Protection Act 2019 rules and regulations. With that experience, I want to share my view on this particular topic. I can put on record that in consumer protection, revolutionary changes have happened in last 5 years under the leadership of Ms. Nidhi Khare and Sri Anupam Mishra and team. Coming to the topic, health washing is a new world we are listening in India. Earlier we heard greenwashing, now health washing. Health washing is the strategy of presenting genuinely unhealthy products in a misleading online or offline context of fitness, sports, and other activities related to healthy lifestyle. Health washing can be a harmful practice because the products that are promoted as something healthy aren't, and in fact can even degrade your health. So health washing terms can also appeal to people who care about their health or are concerned about health issues. In other words, in simple language, we can say, now health washing can be similar to brainwashing and can disconnect people from their culture's food. So that is the thing happening. Most common examples of health washing products that use the label claims such as natural, 100% natural, made with all natural ingredients, made with real ingredients, made with real fruits, sugar-free, low-fat, low calories, no high protein. So these are the types of health washing is happening in online and offline advertisement or even on labeling. Hence, Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Government of India, taken it very serious to stop this type of the exploitation. And the grounds on which we are developing at the international level, yes, WHO has come out with guidelines, Codex Alimentarius Commission has come out with guidelines, and Food and Agricultural Organization. These are the three international institutions worked on it. At the national level, our main document is Constitution of India. Yes, we have a fundamental right, Article 21, right to life with dignity, means without exploitation. And yes, Article 19(1)(a), the right to freedom of speech and expression given to the business people, but it's not an absolute fundamental right. State can impose reasonable restrictions in the interest of public. It includes rules and regulations against health washing. And another Article 47 mandates to state to improve public health and nutrition, implying that advertisements related to health products should be truthful and not misleading. Hence, a lot of from the 2019 Act, we started working on this Act from the 2008, but ultimately come out with the comprehensive legislation in 2019. During this period, we looked into a lot of countries, authorities, legislations, and present challenges which we face in India. All together, we put up in this particular Comprehensive Act 2019 and rules and regulations. And all consumers are having a right to information as a right under the Consumer Protection Act. So before purchasing, any consumer, before purchasing anything, he wants to know about the product. What is the exact truth of that particular product, content, or transparency the consumer needs. If business is not doing that act, then automatically it's an exploitation. It falls under unfair trade practice, restrictive trade practice. And another very important, the institution is established under the new act, that is Central Consumer Protection Authority. It's a very strong institution, and in future you can see the lot of changes due to this particular central authority. And as of now, it is doing a lot of work looking into the lot of complaints are filed before NCH, and especially on electronics, health, insurance, many things. On that basis also, the authority is working hard and suo motu taking action against the exploiters. And another legislation which is directly connected to food is Food Safety and Standard Act 2000. Another very important regulation, that is FSSAI labeling and display regulation. And recently there is one Supreme Court judgment in a PIL. What is the observation of that particular the Supreme Court? Just I am reading before you. A public interest litigation has been filed before Supreme Court by Health Society Public Charitable Trust, urging Union of India along with the State of Union Territory implement mandatory front of package warning labels on packaged foods. So the PIL emphasizes the need for clear and interpretive labels that indicate the level of sugar, salt, and saturated fats in food products, a move, it argues, a critical to addressing the alarming rise in non-communicable diseases like diabetes and heart diseases. Highlighting the alarming rise in the spread of diabetes and associated diseases in our country, the PIL states, diabetes has emerged as a silent epidemic in India, affecting millions of Indians and posing significant burden on our healthcare system. It is very prominent to mention here and draw attention of the alarming surge in non-communicable diseases affecting both children and adults. Over 70%, globally, over 70% of all deaths are attributable to non-communicable diseases, which includes lifestyle diseases. In India, non-communicable diseases claim 6 million lives annually. Shockingly, 1 in 4 individuals in the country are grappling with diabetes, predominantly attributed to obesity. The scientific community underscores the dangerous connection between increased consumption of junk foods and heightened risk of diabetes, cancers, heart diseases, high blood pressure, mental health issues, and premature deaths. The preservative marketing of these unhealthy products, the situation leading to weight gain, elevated intake of sugar, salt, and saturated fats. So, even Supreme Court observed seriously on these, the labeling. Ultimately, it's the right to information of the consumer. Whatever product is sold, it should be disclosed on the label in that way. So, lastly, what I want to say before you, that the collaboration, especially on health washing, the collaboration between the CCPA and FSSAI is vital for effectively regulating misleading advertisements and health claims in the food sector, enhancing consumer protection, and ensuring that marketing practices are transparent and truthful. With this, I conclude. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Patil. Now, Pushpa Girma ji, I think she needs no introduction. हम इनके articles पढ़ते रहते थे पेपर में. Much before I came in the Department of Consumer Affairs. So it has been my honor जब मैं यहाँ आया for the first time I got to meet you, madam. तो articles हम आपको उससे बहुत पहले से ही पढ़ चुके थे. So now I invite Pushpa Girma ji to kindly come on the dais. Yeah.
Thank you, Anupamji, for your kind words. And good afternoon. And my greetings to all of you on Consumer Rights Day. And this is really a happy occasion, more so because if I remember the last year compared to the December 24th of last year to now, I think we have come forward quite a bit in terms of protecting consumer rights, and of course, thanks to a very active Consumer Affairs Ministry. And I think that's really a very positive development. And I'm also glad that we are taking up this issue of health washing, because considering, of course, my people who spoke before me have already spoken about the problems, health problems in India. They keep saying India is the diabetic capital of the world and things like that. India has a very high incidence of diabetes, and also hypertension and various other lifestyle diseases are really high. And given those problems, health problems in the country, I'm really glad we are taking up, Consumer Affairs Ministry has taken up this issue very seriously. It's been, in fact, talking about deliberating over whether to issue guidelines on it or regulations on it. Since other speakers have spoken about this issue, let me just briefly touch upon a few things. What's happening is today consumers are more and more aware of the need for eating more nutrition-based foods, and they are always looking for which make them healthy, which make them live long. And manufacturers are taking advantage of this by promoting foods which are really not healthy, but by using certain ingredients and promoting them, which is health washing. I'm not going to go into definitions of health washing because that's already been explained by my previous speakers. But that is what is happening. In fact, one example is millets. Today, millets, there is a lot of talk on millets, how healthy they are, and then everybody wants to substitute rice and roti with millets. And because of that, you see so many, almost, I think, every food, processed food ingredient list, if you see, I mean, their labels say, oh, healthy food, because it has millets. But if you really look at it, it has either high salt content or high sugar content or high fat content. And unfortunately, what's happening is most consumers do not realize, in fact, not many people are really used to reading the labels or the ingredients, or they may not understand. As a result, when they see these big labels, either in the advertisement or on the product label itself, saying they are very healthy, nutritious, they end up buying those. In fact, I was just looking at one of those so-called, millet biscuit, I think, millet cookie. So the tagline of this millet cookie said, "No maida, so no compromise. Enjoy the goodness of no maida biscuits, prioritizing your health," it said. So if you prioritize your health, you would not be eating them because they were really high in sugar and fat. So the problem is, one, of course, is consumer education is necessary, but I do feel that our manufacturers need to become far more responsible and towards the health of this nation. After all, if consumers fall sick, suffer, because then there will have lesser number of people eating their food products. So I think it's really very essential. And in fact, another example that I was looking at was, diabetes. Again, somebody mentioned this. There are so many foods that say diabetic friendly. And by saying diabetic friendly, and I have seen people who have diabetes, high blood sugar, eating these foods and saying, oh, in fact, cakes. For birthdays, they get these birthday cakes which are supposed to be diabetic friendly. And then only thing they would have done is instead of sugar, they would have substituted sugar with sugar substitute, and many times harmful sugar substitutes. And it will have high fat content, it will have all others, it will have, figs maybe, and so many other high calorie foods. But most people don't realize it. They think that, oh, it doesn't have sugar, so they end up eating it in large quantities, maybe resulting in a spike, steep spike in their sugar levels. So this is really the problem. And then health washing also has been affecting children. Of course, we know the case Bonvita that the ministry had taken up, and it was again promoted as healthy food, nutritious food meant for children, but actually it was it was high in sugar, and then I think subsequently they reduced the sugar content. In fact, many foods and beverages meant for children are touted as healthy and nutritious, have been found to have high sugar levels. So that is something that many parents may not even know that in fact, I know today parents who are, who are very much into ensuring nutritious food for their children don't give sugar at all to children. I know somebody who on the first birthday of the child made a huge cake with just a few strawberries and other things, but it had absolutely no sugar in it. So today, that is what the doctors really, nutritionists prescribe, that don't give sugars to children at an young age. And also, you're not supposed to give salt. They get sugar in natural forms by the fruits they eat. So as we learn more and more about nutrition and food, unfortunately, we find that manufacturers are not being responsible, and they are trying to promote foods that are not healthy, claiming to be, or making them out to be healthy, and thereby making people eat those unhealthy foods. Yeah, another target group is people suffering from high blood pressure, and again they say, and people with cardiovascular diseases. So today you get all these snacks that say that they are baked. It's safe, nutritious, healthy because they are baked. That's what the labels say in bold letters. But actually, if you look at the salt content is extremely high. Now, it's not as if we don't have laws. We have laws under the Food Safety and Standards Act. We have laws under the Consumer Protection Act against these kind of misleading claims and misleading label claims. But unfortunately, these kind of practices are continuing. And we need to really take urgent and immediate action to curb these practices. Otherwise, it will only lead to further deterioration of the health of the people. In order to protect consumers, again, as my friend Ashok said, Supreme Court has now clearly interpreted Article 21 to mean that health is the constitutional or fundamental right of every citizen, is the right to health, from which flows the right to life. So in order to protect that right to health, we need to have food that is safe. And we need to have labels that do not mislead us into eating foods that are unsafe. In fact, I was just the other day going through a study that was done in US, which talked about, which showed that when a snack food carried, the study said that when a snack food carried a nutrient claimant of vitamin fortification, consumers were less likely to look for nutrition information on the nutrition facts label. They were more likely to select the product for purchase on the basis of those vitamin fortification labels, and more likely to perceive the product as healthier and less likely to correctly choose the healthier product. This is what a thorough study done in the US showed. So what it means is that such wrong labels can really have deleterious effect on the health of Indian population. So the question now is what needs to be done. So what are the options? Because considering the health effects of these kind of wrong labels. And of course, this is happening in not just food, in some of these so-called Ayurvedic medicines, because I have a lot of respect for Ayurvedic medicines. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people who are not really, professionals in that area, coming up with all kinds of products, so-called natural products, claiming all kinds of remedies and reliefs. And they again make lots of, this kind of health washing is very common in that sector too, and also nutraceuticals. So what I think, since we already have laws and rules, I do feel that one, of course, is to enforce them very strictly through extensive market surveys and including online marketplaces and influencers. In fact, today, why we have to take action immediately so urgently is, it's not as if this is a new thing. Health washing is not anything new. But what was happening is, all these years, health washing, we could see on labels, on, that is on, when you go to a market, you will see it on labels, and then you see it on advertisements. But today, what's happened is, with the exponential expansion of the social media and the internet, you see these kind of promotions everywhere. In fact, I was reading another study about how on Instagram, these, food companies are promoting all kinds of unhealthy foods through these kind of health washing. So and then they are using influencers. Influencer marketing has become so common. These people are influencing people into buying these wrong products. So, because of this situation, because of the extent of, promotion of these kind of products through a number of, platforms, including the social media platforms, we urgently need to take measures to stop this kind of a thing. And I do feel that we need a regulation. Of course, FSSAI is also looking into it. that is CCPA is also looking into it, Consumer Affairs Ministry also. But I do feel that one is stringent enforcement is needed. And I do feel that we need to have a comprehensive regulation, not just guidelines, but a comprehensive regulation to tackle this, and to tackle this very stringently. Only then can we really support, protect consumers and consumer health. In fact, having said that, before I end, I just want to say one thing. I have always been a votary of course, a lot of people who have heard me will probably say, oh, she's going to say this once again. I have been a very strong votary of corrective advertisements. I do feel that nothing really can be as much of a deterrent as a corrective advertisement. That is, suppose a manufacturer makes a false claim in an advertisement, he can be directed to issue corrective advertisements wherein he will use the same media, same kind of he will have to invest money to issue advertisements actually saying what I said was wrong. This is absolutely necessary because what happens is usually when a person promotes a brand, either through advertisement or celebrities or whatever, or even on the boxes, on the labeling of the product, what happens is even if there is action against that person and the manufacturer is directed to, stop those kind of labeling or change those labeling or withdraws those advertisements, the problem is by the time these decisions are taken, the message would have already been conveyed and people would have already absorbed that message. So the only way to stop that and, to change the mindset of the people, which would have happened because of these wrong messaging, is through corrective advertisements. So when corrective advertisements are issued, when the manufacturer says that I was wrong, I'm sorry, I made this mistake, or I deliberately made this mistake, or whatever. This is the correct position, that is not the correct position. My product contains these. So it is not healthy as I had claimed, it is unhealthy. But I will promise to change the ingredients to make it healthy and come up with a better product or something like that. If he is forced to say that, he will end up spending money to discredit himself. I do feel that that is the most important deterrent. Under the Consumer Protection Act, the consumer courts have the power to issue corrective advertisements. Unfortunately, in fact, I have been, even there, I pushed for it. And then again, under the FSSA Act, when they were doing the labeling regulations, fortunately, I was able to push for corrective advertisements provision there. So that also has it. But unfortunately, my only regret is these provisions are not being taken seriously. And of course, the CCPA, unfortunately, that was there in the original draft, but I don't see it now. CCPA does not have the power to direct issuance of corrective advertisements. So I do feel that we need to give CCPA that power. That has to be introduced through an amendment. And of course, we need to extensively use the, very extensively use the, corrective advertisement power to stop these kind of misinformation and health washing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. That was very useful. So we had the voice of a consumer. We have heard the voice of Lee from National Law University, then with President State Commission. Now let us hear the regulator. So we have Mr. Raghu, Deputy DGHS, Ministry of AYUSH. Sir.
Good afternoon, all. Distinguished Chair, Sri Anupam Mishra ji, Joint Secretary, Department of Consumer Affairs, my co-panelist, and eminent participants from throughout the country. It's a great privilege for representing the Ministry of AYUSH as far as this specific topic is concerned, health washing. So we have listened about previous panelists also on the topic, and so many washings are actually, we are familiar with actually. As far as health washing is a new concept actually, which has been emerged at least in our country. And while we are washing something, we are ideally concealing something. So concealing as far as the true nature of the product, that is the main thing. So with regard to misleading advertisement in the context of healthcare products are concerned, it has, rather than routine implication, it have very life-threatening implications. Because the financial loss is already there for any other kind of misleading advertisements. As far as the healthcare products are concerned, the immediate threat may be the life threat itself. It can be a life threat itself. It can be acute, or if it can be chronic also. So in that context, you may be able to see a lot of advertisements regarding the traditional medicine products also, AYUSH, particularly the AYUSH products also in the various media, print media, visual media, social media. And recently it has been seen that number of such advertisements are also increasing, probably due to one of the fact that over a last 1 decade, AYUSH has gained that prominence in our country by its health implication itself actually. The health outcomes it is actually delivering to the community itself. So along with that, this undesirable misleading advertisements are also emerged in that context. So Ministry of AYUSH on that front has taken various initiatives, particularly in the context of preventing in the context of detracting such misleading advertisements in the field. Specifically, you may have listened about pharmacovigilance program. This is a program wherein the products in its, whenever it is actually delivered to the patient, to consumer, at that time it's any untoward incident, any untoward adverse effects are actually reported through a system of institutions. So that program has been implemented in the country way back from 2008 onwards, but this has been strengthened by the Ministry of AYUSH by adding a component of misleading advertisements actually. So we have a national center in Delhi and 5 peripheral centers, 5 intermediary centers and 99 peripheral centers throughout the country, which has been given the mandate of reporting, receiving the reports from the field regarding the misleading advertisements. And in fact, for the last 3 years, more than 23,000 of such misleading advertisements has been reported through these centers, and it has been appropriately referred to the state licensing authorities because they are empowered under various acts to cognize about these kind of misleading advertisements and to take appropriate actions. We have a battery of regulations are available, acts and regulations are available. The prima facie, the Drugs and Magic Remedies Objectionable Advertisement 1954 Act actually specifically deals with these misleading advertisements, whether it in the modern medicine as well as for the traditional medicine. So very clearly, the Section 8.1 of the Drugs and Magic Remedies Objectionable Advertisement Act 1954 very clearly states that any gazetted officer authorized by the state government may, within the local limits of the area for which he is authorized, to enter, search any premises or examine or seize any record which contravenes any provisions of this Act. So based on that, there are a number of cases has been registered by the state licensing authorities and it has been appropriately reported. But what is actually the need of the hour is actually, as the previous speaker also mentioned, there is a need of large-scale capacity building awareness program is required for not only for the regulators, not only for the consumers, even for the manufacturers themselves. Because resorting to such unethical practices, it may not be only on the basis of the commercial interest alone. It can be without, even without any lack of knowledge about the legal implication, the legal provisions, and even for the health impact, what it is actually going to make. This is highly relevant. For example, very chronic, very life-threatening disorders like the cancer, even for the, what earlier mentioned, that diabetes mellitus, hypertension, in many such illnesses actually, this hiding the true nature of the product and falsifying the claims is actually, can be considered as a very life-threatening, it can create a life-threatening situation. So in this regard, I think what the ministry, along with DOCA, is actually working on many of such issues. For example, we can say that for the e-marketplaces, actually, DOCA, specifically Consumer Protection Authority, have given the advisory to all the state licensing authorities and the manufacturers to specifically to upload a valid prescription of the physician, particularly when using certain class of drugs. For example, we have a class of Schedule E1 drugs, which should be prescribed only through the physicians of the registered medical practitioners. So even for the e-marketing place, it has been seen that many of time, without any oversight, they are actually providing this AYUSH medicines to the community. So on that ground, actually, these kind of guidelines we have issued. Even for the celebrities' endorsements also for the various health products, actually, Ministry of AYUSH is also part of that, the advisories which has been given by the DOCA. So I think there are a lot of regulatory actions are actually already undertaking, and the legal empowerment has been given under the relevant act and rules to the state licensing authorities, and also to brought into the notice of the ministry as well as the various regulators by the public that is also available. And I hope that by a conscious a series of capacity building and awareness program, I think this mentality of these unethical advertisements by these manufacturers can be diminished in our country. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now we have Surendra Sharma, Indian Beauty and Hygiene Association. So he will give the perspective of the industry on the entire issue. We have heard everyone. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. So there is a good news for you and bad news for me. The bad news for me is most of the fellow panelists have already covered the topic, so whatever I wanted to say has already been covered. And that leads to a good news for you that I will not take much time. And so with that, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this panel. I'm honored and privileged to be part of this discussion. Honorable panel chair, Sri Anupam Mishra ji, my fellow panelists, all the participants, ladies and gentlemen. By now, I think all of you understand what the health washing claims are and does it have any impact on consumer choices. So, all the health claims are misleading? I will say no. If an advertiser is making a health claim which is in totality not hiding any facts and duly substantiated by all the scientific research and papers, I think all those claims are genuinely made. But yes, if an advertiser is trying to hide any fact and only highlighting a specific fact which helps in promoting and marketing of its products, that leads to a misleading claim, which is not good. So we do have, what I'll try to do is in next couple of minutes, I'll try to expand the topic to the little ahead. So we understand what health washing claims are. We understand, does it consumer choices? Yes, it does. All the misleading claims will definitely impact consumer choices. What can be done? Do we have laws and regulations which governs health claims, especially misleading health claims? Is that regulatory framework good enough? Or do we need more regulations? And what can we do to create more awareness around these issues so that consumer is more and more aware about this and they don't fall prey to these misleading claims? So, yes, there are various regulations which either directly or indirectly governs health claims. There are code of conduct for self-regulation in advertising by Advertising Standard Council of India, which governs claims making by its members organizations. There are regulations by Central Consumer Protection Authority also, which deals with misleading claims and indirectly covers health claims as well, that no claim should be false and misleading, and all should be substantiated by clinical or scientific papers and justifications. So yes, there are definitely framework. Do we need more regulations in this regard? There is a new area, as my honorable colleague on the panel, Ma'am Pushpa, has already mentioned about the social media, how social media influencers are nowadays trying to influence the marketing of products. ASCI, Advertising Standard Council of India, is trying to create a mechanism and framework, but can we have, those which are sponsored influencers, definitely they are following those guidelines, but there are many influencers who are doing all the advertising of their own. Can we do something to control those social media influencers so that they don't spread misleading claims, or they don't make through their videos any misleading claims relating to the products. So, sir, if CCPA is planning, I read about that CCPA is planning to come out with some regulations on health washing claims. We at IBA, as a member of IBA, will be more than happy to collaborate with the Department of Consumer Affairs and bring in some of the best practices for all across the globe, bring it on table and come out with and give our suggestions on this particular issue. Now, this is about the regulatory framework. Now, talking about the awareness part, I think Department of Consumer Affairs is already doing a phenomenal job in terms of creating awareness as part of Jago Grahak Jago umbrella. My request to Shri Anupamji and Ma'am Secretary is to include this particular subject of health washing claims so that more and more awareness can be created amongst the consumers. Consumers should be encouraged to go through the ingredient list, as has been suggested by my fellow panelists as well. What is the impact of all the ingredients which are there in the product? Is our companies trying to only highlight a particular specific aspect of one particular ingredient, or are they hiding something? So those kind of awareness campaign definitely will help in creating awareness. And yes, as I mentioned, we as a member of IBA will be more than happy to collaborate, sir, with you on terms of any.
Thank you. We are running short late, and I think by the time we should have finished the next session. So I think if you all permit, we will not have a question and answer, and that will leave to high tea. I think when the panelists would also be there, and all of us, we can have any questions we have, or maybe we can separately also approach them. So thank you all panelists, a big hand to all of you. So maybe we can have now the next panel. Thanks a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's just go for a quick break and let's be back here within next 15 minutes for the next session. We will be resuming our technical session 2 after the tea break. So let's gather back in the hall in next 15 minutes. Thank you.